Nintendo sues Pokemon with guns. Articles literally hours ago. The moment we thought would finally happen is finally happening. Let's take a look at IGN here reporting on this. We've seen statements all over social media regarding Palworld and it being sued by Nintendo, but I guess Nintendo finally waited till that money was made, and now action is finally being taken. I wonder, in short sight, if they were to actually win this case, does that mean that Nintendo would start going around and taking down content that was covered on this topic? But now, the talk amongst the community, this topic has been had many times over again and again with direct comparisons from Pokemon that exist in the game and its universe comparing to the design of some of the pals in Palworld. And some of them are very close to near one of ones. Let's take a look at this and let's read into this and let me know your guys' thoughts on what you think and where this will go. Palworld developer Pocketpair has responded to Nintendo and the Pokemon Company's shock patent infringement lawsuit with a statement that it says it's unaware which patents it's being accused of even infringing. Overnight, Nintendo, the Pokemon Company, announced the companies had taken legal actions against fellow Japanese developer Pocketpair, alleging Palworld, dubbed Pokemon with Guns by the fans, infringes multiple patent rights. Nintendo and the Pokemon Company are seeking an injunction and compensation for damages. Oh boy. Pocketpair said it will begrudgingly investigate the patent infringement claims while continuing to update Palworld despite the lawsuit and apologize to players left concerned about the future of the game. And the one thing that I really like about Palworld is their socials team just come across as down to earth. From talking to players about not even changing their monetization process, leaving the game as a buy-to-play game, and also even congratulating other developers and other games. One of the more recent ones, I seen them congratulating even Wukong, Black Myth Wukong, and congratulating the amount of sales and how well that game had done. I've really enjoyed seeing the presence of the Palworld team. However, the content in comparison to Pokemon is a whole different topic. So let's continue. So Pokemon versus Palworld comparison. This was one I seen across social media where people even took the skeletal structure of them and overlaid them with one another, and they were super close with one another. But if you look at this though, they're two completely different things. There's a different tail, there's a different color scheme, different ears, different eyes, shape, and everything, but the structure looks very similar in resemblance. You could call them close cousins. Let's see what else there is. No, just no. They're absolutely not. I think the only thing you could compare here is like the electric tail maybe, but no, those are two completely different things. Vulpix and Charmander hybrid? Absolutely not. And this is called Fox Sparks to boot. First of all, Vulpix has 6 tails. This is a complete design difference. It's a penguin. This honestly looks more like this. This penguin looks more like the penguin from Super Mario 64 than it does an actual penguin from Pokemon. Let's see what else. Oh, get out of here. Like, what? It's a cow. I mean, this one I guess I could kind of see with the eyes, but again, no. No, it's complete. To me, I just see this as completely different. I'm sure there's inspiration and influence potentially taken, but this is almost like the Wish version of Pokemon's. This I could see a little bit more, but again, there's a complete design difference in the entirety of it. I'm no lawyer. I'm just someone who has an opinion. This I could see a close relation to, but again, it's completely different. Not to mention the function of Toko Toko is a self-destruct pal. See, the one thing that I would see a little bit more concern with is how the pals and Pokemon are caught in their game. You have the pal spheres that are on different tiers. You have the Pokeballs that are on different tiers. But when you catch a Pokemon, the ball will shake, and they'll break out or they'll be caught. Pal spheres operate nearly identical to that based on my experience. And if people think I'm giving this a short glance, I spent hundreds of hours playing Palworld. I really liked just the fresh new game, even though it was a Wish version of Pokemon. And I absolutely see the influence and comparison between the two. But the one thing that I would critique and point out immediately is the spheres and the Pokeballs. Those ones are crazy in comparison to functionality, and I would say borderline near identical. But when you look at the design of Pal spheres to Pokeballs, they're completely different. Here you have the Pokeball, here you have the Pal sphere. The design of them is completely different. However, the functionality of them is a 1-for-1 as far as I've seen. Let's read more into the article. Let's see more of these comparisons, right? So, like, some of these are damning though, like the facial structure of this. But again, there's a whole entire design difference from what I also see. But man, is there absolute influence for sure. This one being more closer to identical that I've seen. Yeah, Jetragon or Jet Dragon. Lamball for sure with this one in comparison. Absolutely for sure with this comparison. Yeah, as we start getting more into some of these are becoming more and more related for sure. Yeah, Eevee for sure. They practically just colored this one different. Here is Pocketpair's statement in full. Pocketpair says, regarding the lawsuit, yesterday a lawsuit was filed against our company for patent infringement. We have received notice of this lawsuit and will begin the appropriate legal proceedings and investigations into the claims of patent infringement. At this moment, we are unaware of the specific patents we are being accused of infringing upon, and we have not been notified of such details. Oh, but I'm pretty sure they probably have a really damn good idea of some of those things. They probably have some conspiracies into what that may be in regards to. Again, the one that I pointed out is the Pokeball to Palsphere functionality. They're identical as far as I've seen based on my experience in the game. That is like the 1-for-1 comparison that I would personally make in all of this. Reading further, Pocketpair is a small indie game company based in Tokyo. Our goal as a company has always been to create fun games. We will continue to pursue this goal because we know that our game brings joy to millions of gamers around the world. Palworld was a surprise success this year, both for gamers and for us. We were blown away by the amazing response to the game, and we have been working hard to make it even better for our fans. We will continue improving Palworld and strive to create a game that our fans can be proud of. It is truly unfortunate that we will be forced to allocate significant time to matters unrelated to the game's development due to this lawsuit. However, we will do our utmost for our fans to ensure that indie developers are not hindered or discouraged from pursuing their creative ideas. We apologize to our fans and supporters for any worry or discomfort that this news has caused. As always, thank you for your continued support of Palworld and Pocketpair. And it's crazy to think too that, I mean, all it took was someone else making a game based on what Pokemon fans have been requesting from Nintendo. And imagine if Nintendo had just made something that fans have been requesting, it would be a major hit as well. That's something that I would really, really love to see. That's something that I personally would love to play. And I think that a lot of people would enjoy, but that's just my taste. That's just my opinion. And I know that's not for everybody. Players are now left wondering whether Nintendo and the Pokemon Company's lawsuit will force Pocketpair to remove Palworld from sale or even shut the game down. As you'd expect, the official Palworld Discord is packed with posts from players debating the likelihood of Nintendo's success with its lawsuit and its potential effect on the game. And I'm pretty sure that I'm in the Palworld Discord, so let's go take a look. So their official statement's probably going to be down here, what we just read regarding the lawsuit. Palworld general chat. Let's just scroll down to recent times. All people want is an open world creature catching game. I would genuinely give money to Palworld if it went to defending against the patent lawsuit. I love Digimon. You know, that's a really, really, really good point, because Digimon is basically just a complete ripoff, if you will. I like Digimon personally, but you would have to say that it takes complete influence from the Pokemon series as well. I think Digimon is a lot further away from copying certain things, but I'm sure some people could come up with 1-for-1 comparisons that are very, very close as well. I mean, you have Digivolving, Pokemon Evolution. I think that's a very, very fair argument to bring up in short glance. See, my favorite comparison is when the community brought up the topic of Palworld copying Pokemon. They started talking about Pokemon copying Dragon Quest. And I mean, as you can see here, you can see where people have also referenced influence that Pokemon may have taken from a game as such. And some of these are actually insane to look at in comparison. You can see where the influence has come from. Well, let's take a look further. After Palworld's record-breaking launch in January and the subsequent comparisons to Pokemon, IGN asked experts whether Nintendo could potentially successfully sue Pocketpair. At the time, Peter Lewin, video game lawyer at Wigan, told IGN much would depend on in which country Nintendo pursued legal action, given the difference in IP law across the globe. The US, for example, has a notoriously permissive fair use defense, which might have influenced where Nintendo sued Pocketpair. Nintendo's lawsuit was filed in the Tokyo District Court. Sam Castry, a copyright lawyer and avid Pokemon player, told IGN was the potential for a court order that would block Pocketpair from selling Palworld, but cast doubt on the likelihood of a lawsuit. That analysis, however, was in the context of a lawsuit based upon copyright infringement. Nintendo's lawsuit alleges patent infringement, although the company has yet not provided details to which of those patents. Meanwhile, Pocketpair is continuing to update Palworld regardless. That is completely based of them. Good job. Just a few hours after Nintendo announced the lawsuit, Pocketpair released a hotfix for the Xbox version to fix a fatal bug where the PALs and base PALs would sometimes stop moving and working. The developers said that the same issue is happening in the Steam version, and they're on the case right now. Continuing to tweet, "Thank you for the continued support." So on Palworld's Twitter regarding the lawsuit, they have the same statement as they have made in the Discord. "Thank you to all our fans for the kind words and messages. Palworld, release a trailer. Most people overlook it, including Nintendo. Not a big deal. Palworld becomes an enormous international success. Nintendo loses their shit that a game using monster taming features could be more popular than Pokemon." And then they filed a lawsuit. Seems legit. I'd really be interested in knowing what exactly those patents are and could be, so we'll kind of just see more as this comes to light. Nintendo really needs to be humbled, and competition is healthy for everyone involved. It's healthy for the gamers. It forces developers to raise a hand and be forced to do something. My favorite comparison was when people talked about Dragon Quest. So whether this is going to be effective or actually have weight and gravity, I'm not really sure, but my overall opinion is I think there may be some things that will need major change. A lot of people have also talked about how Palworld's design may have had AI influence as well. I'm not sure, but I definitely think some things, such as like how the PAL spheres operate in comparison to how the Pokeballs operate in each universes, I think those will be some things that we could probably potentially see change in, because some of them actually hold some pretty big copy paste, in my opinion, based on what I've seen playing the game. Obviously, I don't want to see Palworld crumble. I don't want to see Palworld fall. I think Palworld was a really great game that the gaming industry needed to see in its time and presence, because it just shows that passion for the player does exceptionally well as opposed to developers' passion for players' pockets. You know, developers first over players as opposed to players first falling into the success of developers. A lot of times we're seeing these devs first, players second type structures being set up for these games, as opposed to players first, devs second. And what I mean by that is simply the statement I just made, which is developers are making money-hungry decisions that don't have player passion in mind. And if player passion comes first, then we start to see content that is created for these players excel and exist very, very strongly on their own 2 feet in the gaming industry. And Palworld, in my opinion, is kind of just a whatever product, but it just goes to show that fun for the player will excel every single time when players are kept in mind in that type of passionate sense. So I'd like to see them do good. What do you guys think is going to happen? Let me know. I'm hoping for all the best, of course, and we'll continue to keep an eye on this as this starts to unfold.